found something interesting here. Olive is able to take advantage of the GPU on macOS. So I tried this out on my NVIDIA laptop, and it barely used any of it. And it's just a 1050 Ti, so I don't know if it had to have the newer NVENC encoder or what the difference is. But here on macOS, it is able to take advantage of the Radeon RX 5700 and take really good advantage of it. Now, when I tried an HEVC encode. As you can see, these two smaller sets of bars here, I canceled those because they were giving me like a 1 hour export time for a 7-minute video. Olive is able to take advantage of the AMD GPU. As you can see, these two smaller little bars here where it says AMD Radeon 5700, those were HEVC encodes that I tried, and it wasn't taking full advantage of the 5700. So then I tried your basic MP4, and as you can see, it's doing the whole encode basically on the 5700 while not killing my CPU. So things I can compare this to that aren't video editing: when you're in virtualization, the red part is the kernel call times, and it's far less than what it would be in virtualization. So in virtualization, say this red bar here in core number 1 would be almost equal to the green bars, whereas here it's not even close. So it's able to do this pretty quickly and take advantage of the cores it's actually using. When we look at something like Cinchi, pull this back down, and we'll get rid of Activity Monitor for a moment. Cinchi shows that we're using 91% of the AMD Radeon GPU. We're using none of the 5500X and none of the Intel UHD 630. We're only using about 13% of CPU, which this is really good to know from Olive and the team at Olive. Thank you for having this ability. I don't know if it's just something you can tap into in macOS or if it's something that they have done on their own, but this is really great. The encode times are not that quick compared to other macOS software, but it's comparable. So it's a 7-minute video with nothing on it, and it said the encode time was going to be about 11 minutes. That's not super fast. There were no edits done. I just drug the file in just to see. I thought, well, maybe I'll check out Olive again. The last time I did it was doing it completely on the CPU, and that was about a year ago. So I thought I'd test it again with the newest version I could get my hands on from their website, and it's a lot better. It's a lot smoother. There's still a few of the effects, if you try them, will, kill the app dead. But other than that, I'm really, really surprised. Plus, I'm screen recording on top of that. So when you look at that, and I'm not using like a capture card or anything else, I'm just using the built-in screen recorder with macOS, the screenshot QuickTime thing that they have set up, and it's not affecting it at all. So I'm getting the same amount either way. So I'm really surprised. Now here's the thing, I am exporting to this drive here, this TechQ NVMe drive. It's a Thunderbolt drive, and it's actually faster in Blackmagic's disk speed test than the internal storage on the MacBook Pro, which is kind of shocking because most of the time the internal storage of the Mac is usually better than most other laptops with NVMe drives, and it's usually a little bit faster than most external drives. This TechQ, I don't know what's in it. You can take it apart and replace the drive in it, which is great, but I haven't taken it apart to find out what the drive is. I'm curious as can be. I just got it a couple weeks ago, and the Thunderbolt drive I had before that I ended up filling up was nowhere near as fast as this one. It can't, and it's not just an enclosure, which I thought that's all it was. I thought it was just an enclosure, and it was like $125 or $135 on Amazon. And I'm like, well, that's not bad for a Thunderbolt enclosure with a Thunderbolt cable. When I got it, I hooked it up just to make sure it worked, and it showed that it had, you know, a half a terabyte of storage already on it. And I'm like, yes, that's awesome. So that was a good thing. Apparently they have a 1 terabyte, a 480, you know, half a terabyte, and then a 256 gig kind of thing. And it works great. Can't say enough good things about this TechQ drive. But that seems to not be the bottleneck. I think the bottleneck is really the mobile CPU I'm using. But hey, everything looks like it's going to work. So if you're interested in a free and open source video editor for Windows and Mac and Linux, check out Olive on their website. Okay, the Olive export has finished. Let's have a look at the file. Now, the original file that I had, I still haven't done my voiceover for it, is of Red Core Linux, which I'm going to be reviewing in a few days. So let's look at it and see what size it is. Basically, all I did was put that video, the one Red Core for voiceover movie, into Olive and export it. That's all I did. So this file was 408 megabytes, and its overall bit rate was 7,859 kilobytes a second. Basically 7.8 megabytes or megabits a second, I guess. Yes. And it is just a MP4 encode. It is H.264. It's not a HEVC. When I tried to export this out of Olive as HEVC, it was giving me render times of like 2 hours, 1 hour, just insane kind of stuff. And so this is the Olive file here. So let's get some info too. Get info. Let's see what this is there. It says it's 31.3 megabytes. Wow. That's a lot smaller. That's almost like a transcode from Handbrake. It's running at 574 kilobytes a second. Wow. The bit rate was 559. Now, let's do this then. Let's open this with QuickTime. We'll put this over here for a second. And we'll open this with QuickTime as well. Put it over here. And what we'll do is we'll tile these together and look at them together. Okay. Let's find some text here. 13 seconds, we got some text. Well, let's look at that. Our intro at 4 seconds. On the left is the Olive. On the right is the original. There's not a big difference here. Now, it is 1080p, so I can see a little bit of shading, color difference, but other than that, no big deal. No heavy jaggedness that wasn't there already on the lettering. Let's scoot on up here to some text on a picture. 16. So we're at the same point. There's a little degradation, but not very noticeable. So Olive does transcoding very well. And here was a cool little picture I found of a cow pushing the Gen 2 symbol. And I was trying to explain, well, let's look at this. Here's a good little spot, 28 seconds. Sorry, I'm being so random. I kind of forgot how this all went together here. So at 28 seconds, we have this little USB stick fly through the air here, basically. That's the original. Now, let's look at this one. This is from Olive. it's a little more jagged. That now in motion things are way more jagged. Okay, so this was the default Olive setting too, so it can be tweaked to get a better quality output. But as you can see here in little squares, the USB and the little stripe on it, there's a big difference here. So 36. There's jaggedness on the stripe and the square part of it, but hey, everything else looks pretty good. All right, let's scoot on up here to our cow at 41 seconds. So in movement, you're seeing some differences. Now the cow's looking a little blurrier. We got the Gen 2 symbol flying around. Here's the explanation I had with Gen 2, when at certain points Gen 2 had not only a port to FreeBSD but macOS, and they were trying to be I don't know what they were trying to do, but they had you could install a Gen 2 setup or Gen 2 package manager for macOS. I think they worked one for FreeBSD. Pretty interesting, but it looks pretty good to me. And I think with a few little tweaks, you could really get there with Olive. And I'm really surprised at how far they've come. So awesome to the Olive team. Thank you for making a free and open source video editor. And this has been Olive. So go check out their website. I'll put the link up on the screen so you can see. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day, y'all.